Awesome. Awesome.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Ryan. I'm going to talk to you about a personal game that I'm making called That Dragon Cancer. My son Joel had just turned 1 year old the day that we found the monster in his brain. He had been vomiting for weeks. Only recently had we noticed that his head had been leaning far to the right. And when we gave him to the nurses for the MRI, our greatest fear was that the drugs that they gave him to put him to sleep would harm him. Our journey began with an airlift to Children's Hospital, a major tumor resection surgery, 6 weeks of radiation, and 10 months of a cocktail of horrible chemo drugs. We were told 10 months later that the monster had returned, that treatment had failed, and that our precious 1-year-old son might not make it to his next birthday. Our doctors gave us informed, reasoned, and fully acceptable opinions about the fate of our son. They were honest, but were they true?
There's a distinction between honesty and truth. You can perceive a situation and gain an honest perspective, but that doesn't mean you found truth. Your perspective is incomplete. It's limited. So the next step is to include multiple perspectives. You have a better chance to find the truth, to have it revealed to you. I like to see truth as a treasure trapped inside a jewel, or maybe a point existing within a space of n-dimensional geometry. Based on our own life experiences, we can view one or more facets of that jewel. But our goal is to find the treasure inside it. That's the part that makes the world a better place, sharing it with others. And it applies perfectly to games. Because of player agency, the form of games is custom fit for exploring multiple perspectives. Each player makes different choices, of course, as part of the medium. It gives games a special power to explore truth. And that's why making personal games is really important. And why with That Dragon Cancer, we are searching for truth and trying to reveal that to players. But it's not enough to just be honest.
If my goal in creating art is simply an act of self-expression or self-pity or a request for empathy, I believe I will have failed you. Because frankly, cancer is an evil. It's unequivocally evil. And if I introduce you to cancer, I may only succeed in wounding you and pushing you into a fetid, stinky mud pit. I think that in our pursuit to be authentic as artists, to be honest, we run the risk of throwing infected mud at each other. If then I break your heart, I hold the pieces. And if I'm holding the pieces, I'm then culpable for that act. However, there is something to be said about falling to the bottom of a pit. You find that everybody else is there with you. You realize that we're all wounded and infected with things that are bent on killing us and our relationships with each other. And in that place, there is a certain beauty. In that place, walls can come down, posturing and pride can be set aside, and in that place, there can be empathy and the sharing of burdens. But if you are left in that place, your wound will fester, you'll get sick, and you will die. That's why I speak of that dragon cancer. For cancer will not die unless it is killed, and it will come back unless we are healed. If we believe lies, even if they are arrived at honestly, then we'll be enslaved to our own cancers. But if I pursue what is true, what is noble, and what is good, if I shine a light on truth, then it will set me free and it will set you free. Joel is not dead yet. Joel is alive and fighting his 8th tumor. Our doctors fight for him. Our family fights for him. And we serve a God that's the God of the living, not the dead. Our eternal perspective as a family is set on that which we hope for. In the middle of all this pain and suffering and mud and morass, that cancer is wrought in our family, we have a drink of water that's made of hope and love and light, and we hope to share it with you. And we hope that it will taste good, and that it will give you life, and that it will set you free. Thank you.
Thank you. By the way, feel free to sit on the tarp. It's for us. And you can draw on it or do whatever you want with the tarp, within reason. Next up is porpentine. Where's porpentine?